folks, today's been a bit of a disaster. I had intended to come to get a bit of wave chasing, check the weather. Weather was too bad today, so but I've left home. I've just arrived at my destination, or one of the planned destinations, and I've forgotten all my wet gear. I've forgotten my jacket. I've forgotten spare batteries for the GoPro. I've forgotten everything. So here, I'm going to change the plan here today. I'm at Dunree Fort, which is in Donegal, and what Dunree Fort is during World War II, such was the threat of the German army on the North Atlantic. The British Army decided to purchase, loan, borrow, I don't know what it is, this headland, and they established this fort on it to keep an eye on the North Atlantic. So we're in an estuary here, so we have easy access to the North Atlantic from there. Such was the threat of the German Navy. But in its own right, it is a beautiful place, and I've just been told that they have a new pier, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go down and see it. But the plan for today is to do a little bit of urban exploration. Most of the fort is still here, and you might be able to see some of the buildings there just behind me. Up there, still sound, still standing, still accessible, and yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. Given this here size of this one, I'm only going to assume this is some kind of a dorm. No floorboards, so I'm just on the bare supports here, and I'm just looking out for any upright nails. The soles of my Wellingtons wouldn't be the thickest. The last thing I want is a nail in the foot. Yeah, I'm somewhat convinced this is a dorm. And who would have thought, 1945 en suite. Some things just go beyond time. And every turn's got something that catches your eye. You want to explore some more? That's where I'll be going towards the end of it. So I mean, it's a vast area, this fort. Cool. Oil vats. This one's locked up, but it does have open windows. But there's a photograph here that I like. It's worth the adventure. Let's go. Covered in broken glass and debris and roofs caving in, and the floor is flooded, and it's that flooded floor that's caught my eye. And the texture, the roof, the paint's falling off, the wood is coming away. It just has absolutely everything, including a reflection. Whoa, Ghost Adventures moment. I was going to walk over here, I felt something tug at my bag, and yeah, one of the bungee straps in my bag had actually caught on the window and it was pulling me back. Oh. Now, I don't like just how flooded this is, because I know it's only wood, and if that wood is rotten, we're going down. Whoa. Ah, cool. Gotta see this, guys. I'll say one thing for the British Army. They do like their fireplaces. Having said that, I would say this place gets pretty damn cold in the winter. I don't know. Kitchen, washroom maybe? And they do like their toilets. Fireplace and toilets. And nature taking back what's hers. This is a fantastic shot. Not a fantastic shot, fantastic location. Now, if anybody's interested, I am shooting bracketed. Proper exposure, 1 under, 1 over. And the reason I'm doing that is because in places like this, and urban exploration and old buildings like this, especially where there's rust and texture, I like to shoot HDR. Oh no, I hear you say. And for those of you that don't know what HDR is, HDR stands for High Dynamic Range, and what it's used for is your camera, any camera has what's known as a dynamic range. And the dynamic range is the difference between the light parts of your scene and the dark parts, the shadows, the highlights and the shadows. Cameras are getting much better at capturing those. Certainly the D800 has an excellent dynamic range, and what I mean by that is that it has no problems whatsoever capturing a broad spectrum of lights and darks, so that I will get detail in the highlights as well as detail in the shadows. But with high dynamic range, what you do is you take a sequence of photographs, as I said before, one correctly exposed, and then you underexpose the photograph and then you overexpose the photograph. And what that does, it means you're then exposing for the shadows. So you bring out the details in the shadows and you're exposing for the highlights. So you're getting all that detail. And then using a piece of software, personally I use Photoshop, and you merge that into one photograph. So you've got all that dynamic range from the 3 photographs put in. Now, the reason why I said not HDR is that there are some really, really nasty HDR out there, and that's because people just overcook it. I prefer to just create a big, massive document in Photoshop and then re-import that back into Lightroom and then just do my normal post-processing in Lightroom. What most people tend to do with HDR is they create something that's basically akin to Elvis and Velvet. It is nasty, but HDR, when it's done right, is amazing. It's fantastic. Why I like to do HDR in situations like this, especially when there's rust around, what HDR does to rust, in my opinion, is phenomenal. I love it. That really deep, textured, dark orange that it gives, and that's why I'm shooting HDR. And what I've got here for my photograph, I've got this rock, boulder, something. I think it's been thrown in here. That's my foreground interest. So I focused on that. Took 3 photographs. Focused about a third away into the scene. Took 3 photographs. So I'll do the HDR, make 2 HDRs, and then I'll blend them to get that whole front to back sharpness. Just dipping in and out of different places, and what caught my eye about this place is that. That's a carpet rail. Carpet rails mean carpet. So this had to be a little bit better. Oh wow. Time for a flashlight. Big boiler. Oh wow. Yeah. And another toilet. And yet another toilet. And some kind of changing room. Just making sure the ground is secure before I go up here. Has to be a bar. Has to be a pub. Officer's mess. Carpet, bar, clearly an officer's mess. And somebody else's mess too. Oh, clearly someone's got some taste. Moondogs. Undertones. The Who. And the Jam. cool. Yeah, beer cellar. All right, mate, what can I get you? Definitely the officers had it pretty plush compared to everyone else. I mean, some size of fireplace. Fireplace, of course. Tile floor, kitchen area maybe. Yeah. Whoa, some rather vicious looking nails sticking up. And I'm guessing that this belonged to Top Dog. Room with the view. So much texture here. History. It is, it's just, it's a time capsule. There's no other word for it. And whenever I get this home, I'm going to do a Zach Bacon's and study this for operations. Right, folks, something just a little bit different. What I say, I do enjoy a little bit of urban exploration, UrbEx. I do getting into old stuff. I've always been fascinated by old stuff, especially stuff that still has a recognisable structure. Been in some old castles and things like that, and there's just nothing left. There's nothing worth even going and exploring. Now, I had wanted to get up to right up onto the heights today, but that's not going to happen. And but I'm happy enough with that the officer's mess, well, I'm assuming it's an officer's mess, certainly with the bar, the carpet, tiles on the floor and everything else, it certainly looks a little bit more inclined to be an officer's mess. And I do watch, and I have to say, my guilty pleasure is Ghost Adventures, and I'd actually enjoyed having a little alone Ghost Adventure there myself. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, enjoyed those shots today. I'm looking forward to getting them home, get them up on the computer. A couple of glasses of wine, a few beers, start working on the HDR. For all you HDR haters out there. Well, I hope I can do something that you will like. I promise you I won't go with the sliders up to 100%, I can guarantee you that. But yeah, considering the day that I had planned to do, chase some storms, chase some waves, as always folks, I keep saying, take whatever it throws at you and make the best of it. So we'll get these home, we'll see what we're like, and hopefully you've seen by this stage quite a few of them. And if you like them, you might not like the video, and by all means share. And if you haven't already subscribed, and you like what you see and you want to see some more, hit the subscribe button, please. And take care. Well, I thought I was going home. I just remembered that guy at the start said that there was a new little jetty down here, so I thought I would give it a go. And as far as I remember, all this path here was used to be, it was not accessible, and the railings are very much rotten. They've never been replaced, and yeah, I think there might be an opportunity here for a long exposure here just before I go home. So just working my way down here now, and there seems to be still some old buildings left over from God knows when, possibly 1945. I'm guessing that most of this has been around since the Second World War. This is easy. Going back up is going to be fun, because I am not fit. I gave it all up when I turned 40. And yeah, I think we might be able to get something here. Some nice coloured stones here, a lot of texture, a lot of rubbish. It's one thing about the ocean, it eventually does give back everything, doesn't it? Right, almost time for home, and I've seen this composition. The jetty's fine. It gives me access to somewhere that previously I didn't have access to. But the problem with the jetty is it's functional, it's modern, it's new. It's just not giving me anything at all photographic wise. But what I did catch was this little scene here. You see, and I've got this little ring in the foreground, the rocks here, and then that little bridge in the background. Sky is woeful. I'm going to shoot bracketed here, just try and break out some texture in the sky, and then I'm going to do a long exposure and see what we can do there. And then I'm going to do a long exposure, bracketed, and see how that comes out. If it comes out okay, you'll be seeing it right now.